The Toyota Corolla Cross has come in for a subtle update. It is quite a popular car, but it kind of flies under the radar. I mean, that's the thing about the Corolla. It's a hugely successful car, but it never always quite gets the laurels or the celebration for being as good as it is. And now the Cross model, which was introduced a couple of years ago, well, that's now come in for a bit of an update. So what has changed? The front is really where you're going to notice the biggest change over the predecessor. So the headlights here, new look headlights, much more modern looking, much more contemporary. I'm a fan of what they've done. There's some really nice details here, as well as the main beam. Of course, you've still got the usual LED technology there, but then around the front here, look, they've added this extra lighting in here as well. Just gives this a little bit more detail, and there is, I like how they've divided this up, giving it this kind of grille appearance. It's not just the usual straight flat LED light bar all the way across, and then you've got this new honeycomb mesh grille here as well. Again, visually it works well, technically it does work quite well. I mean, it gets all the right airflow in, and it gives the car, I think, a better look than when it was first launched. When it was first launched, I'm not going to say it was frumpy, but it wasn't really the most striking looking of Toyota's models. This definitely sharpens it up that little bit more. Now, under the bonnet, you've got two different hybrid options, a 140 horsepower 1.8 litre or a more powerful 180 horsepower 2 litre. Most people will probably just go for the 140 horsepower, given the nature of how these cars are used and how people drive them. But there will be options, and that will again depend on what market you're in. There's some new colors as well, and some nice details. You have a bit of bright work here on top of the window frames. You've got Corolla Cross, you've got roof rails built in. Then around the back, again, some slight styling changes. There's these new fins, which Toyota say are aerodynamically optimized. They add greater stability to the car at high speed. I will take that with a slight pinch of salt. I don't think this is going to have a massive effect on how the Corolla Cross handles, but I guess, look, they've put some new lights on the back of it, and it, like the front, it gives it a bit more of a modern twist, rounds it off quite nicely. You've got a nice big window here, you've got Corolla Cross on the back, and this is a practical car. That's why people will buy this. They'll buy it for the practicality. You get a nice low load height, big boot as well. You can fold down the rear seats, 60-40 split as usual. You do have a little bit more space under there. There'll probably be a spare wheel in some markets, and you've got the usual things. You've got bag hooks and all that kind of stuff. So it's not too bad. Like, it is, after all, a sensible car. And that's why you buy it. I mean, there are some people that they will buy this purely because it ticks all the right boxes. And on the outside, now at least it looks that little bit more appealing. So what about the inside? Well, let's go have a look. Now on the inside, well, it's got some nice bit of refresh, but overall, again, much like the outside, the inside is quite sensible. You've got this drive shifter here. I'm not a fan of this glossy piano black surround. Yes, it looks nice today when the car is brand new, but it is going to be liable to scuffs and scrapes and dust and all that kind of stuff. You've got wireless phone charger up here, nice and easy to access that. And I do like the way they've kind of illuminated around this. It just adds a little bit of, it lifts it a little bit more, which is no bad thing. You've still got, you know, functional chunky buttons, which, you know, you don't get that on some of the other Toyotas, but that's just a thing with this car. But yeah, heated front seats, front and also in the back, there's plenty of space, which will show you that in a moment. Touchscreen, again, quite functional, sits up relatively high just above the air vents. I like that there's still physical controls here, and of course, you know, you've got the usual Toyota infotainment system, but you can have all of your smartphone connectivity, all that kind of stuff. And yes, you can turn off the beep when you touch the screen. There's a full digital instrument display in front as well, so you can tailor that depending on how you want to have it set up. And I like the steering wheel has a decent enough feel to it. It's just like what we see in some of the other Corolla models. It all just works quite nicely. Everything has a kind of a decent and a hard wearing feel inside it. It's not super nice soft materials everywhere, but it does the job. And this is probably going to be, for a lot of people, this is going to be a family car. You're going to need something that's going to be able to take a little bit of rough and tumble. It all feels nice and robust, well made, and it is the kind of thing that, much like we've seen with a lot of some of the other Toyotas, that everything like those buttons, they're probably going to feel the exact same in 10 years time. And that's one of the reasons why people will buy cars like this, because it will just do the job. Every morning you'll get in the hybrid system, it just works. It's a known quantity, it works well. So yeah, there's no real complaints. What they have also done is made a GR Sport version of this. Now, we don't have this right here, but we'll drop in a few bits and you can see that they've added a few other bits and pieces. There's some red stitching, nicer materials. It gives it a bit of a sporty thing. That sporty flavor, that GR Sport line, as it were, is being expanded across a whole load of different models. Even the little Igo Cross now gets a GR Sport version. So Toyota's leaning into it because it realizes some people want a slightly sportier version, and that's what it's now offering people. Rear passengers still get decent enough amounts of headspace and knee room as well. So that driving seat is set up for my normal driving position. I'm 5'8", I'm average height, and I've got a little bit of knee room to spare, and I've got an inch or two of headroom, even though this is also equipped with this dual panoramic sunroof. And this is a really nice option to have, I think, because it lets a lot more light in. Okay, it's not all one big continuous panel, but I've got a really big glass right over my head, and on a dark day it just means you've got a little bit more light back here. Big side windows. Okay, they're perhaps up a little high for small kids if they're going to be sitting in a child seat, but generally speaking it's fairly practical back here. As I mentioned, both of the outer seats, they'll take child seats. Middle seat, it's not too bad. It could be better, but this is really just going to be an extra person the odd time. Of course, you can fold down the armrest, the usual thing. There isn't a ski hatch in this particular version, but you do get two USB-C ports down there. You've got vents. It's only dual zone climate control at the front, but at least you've got vents back here, and even the doors have a handy cup holder in the door handle. So that's another useful function, even though there's no door pockets and there's no pockets on the backs of the driver's seat. You do get one on the back of the passenger seat, but overall it's not bad back here. So that's the first look around the updated Toyota Corolla Cross. It was never Toyota's most exciting model, but the changes at least now lift it up a little bit more. I think it now has a more modern face. It definitely is more attractive now than when it was first launched. And of course, as I mentioned, the addition of a GR Sport version, I think, will add further appeal to this model because it does give it a little bit more of a sporting look, and that will open it up to a slightly wider audience. But yeah, the front, it definitely looks a lot better. Quite like all this lighting material, and overall inside there's just decent amounts of space, and of course it has a proven track record with its hybrid system. If you want to know more about the Corolla Cross, just click onto our website. It's in the link below. It's in the description. It's CompleteCar.ie. Everything is there that you need to know about all the latest car news. We've got hundreds, thousands of reviews, every model you can think of. So do go and spend a little bit of time. You will find what you're looking for. And if not, we've got a great Ask Us Anything section as well, where you can enter a question and all of our experts will get back to you ASAP. There's also a new newsletter function, so it's well worthwhile adding in your email to that, and every week you'll get all the latest news. We'd also love to know what you think, so do take your time, get involved in the comments below, because your feedback helps make these videos even better. We always love hearing what you think. It's not just about what we think. Thanks for watching.